Enhancing memory. Memory is a complex process that involves several areas of the brain. Most of us suffer from memory failures of one kind or another, and most of us would like to improve our memories, right? There are several strategies you can use to enhance your memory. Let us look at some ways to help you remember better and some strategies for more effective studying. Before going to the details, please remember to subscribe the channel. Do watch other videos in the channel, share it with students and those who love learning psychology. Thank you. Memory enhancing strategies. Rehearsal, chunking, mnemonic, expressive writing and saying words aloud, associating the information and method of loci. Rehearsal. It is the conscious repetition of information to be remembered. Think about how you learned your multiplication table as a child. You may recall that 5 5s are 25, 5 6s are 30 and 5 7s are 35. Right? So you rehearsed. Memorizing these facts, this multiplication table is a kind of memory enhancing strategy known as rehearsal. Another example, you are trying to remember a list of groceries that you need to buy at the store. For example, apples, bananas, bread, milk, eggs. One type of rehearsal, the maintenance rehearsal. It involves simply repeating the items over and over again to yourself, such as apples, bananas, bread, milk, egg, again apple, banana, bread, milk, egg. So you will remember it. Then elaborative rehearsal. It involves connecting the new information with something you already know. For example, you could remember the list by visualizing the item on your kitchen table, or you could associate each item with a specific location in the store. You might also try to create a story or a rhyme that includes all the items, like I bought some apples, bananas, bread, milk and eggs to make a breakfast, and it will be a great breakfast. Likewise, the second strategy of enhancing memory is chunking. Here you organize the information into manageable bits or chunks. Chunking is useful when trying to remember information like dates, phone numbers, etc. Chunking involves breaking up large pieces of information into smaller, more manageable chunks. For example, if you need to remember a phone number, you could group the number into sets of 3 or 4. Instead of trying to remember a number like 5205550 you remember the number as 5205550 If you were trying to remember along a list of items, like a grocery list, rather than trying to remember the items as it is, you could group them by the category, like fruits together, all the vegetables together, the dairy products together, the bakery items together, etc. Next is mnemonic. These are memory aids that help us organize information for encoding. They are especially useful when we want to recall large bits of information, such as various stages in any process or steps or phases, etc. If you need to learn the order of the planet in the solar system, but having a hard time remembering the correct order, a mnemonic device can help you remember this easily. One mnemonic you could use is, my very educated mother just served us noodles. Each word in the sentence corresponds to the first letter of each planet. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. The mnemonic we used is, my very educated mother just served us noodles. Some other strategies that are used to improve memory includes expressive writing and saying words aloud. Expressive writing, it helps boost your short-term memory. Particularly if you write about a traumatic experience in your life, you might write about the event in detail, including how it made you feel and how it has affected you. Research has shown that expressive writing can improve memory retention and help reduce the negative emotional impact of traumatic events. And saying something aloud. When you say something out loud, you are engaging multiple senses, like hearing and speaking. It can help you create stronger connections between the new information and your existing knowledge. What if you want to remember items you need to pick up from a store? Simply say them out loud to yourself. Several studies found that saying a word out loud, it improves your memory for the word because it increases the word's distinctiveness. Using these techniques, it increased the participants' memory for the word by more than 10%. And these techniques can be used in studying. Next is associating the information. Information that is encoded in a deeper way by associating the information to be remembered with something that is important to you on a personal level or personally identifying with the information. It can create a stronger trace for the information to be later recalled. Association involves connecting new information with existing knowledge. For example, if you need to remember someone's name, you could try associating their name with something about them or something you love. For example, you met with a girl named Linda. You can associate the name Linda with the chocolate Lind because you love the chocolate Lind, and the Linda is sweet as Lind. So you can connect or associate a name with something you love or something you find interesting about that person. Next is method of loci or method of loci. Both way it is pronounced. The method of loci, it is a strategy of memory enhancement. It uses visualizations, spatial memories, and familiarity with the environment to quickly and effectively recall information. It is also known as memory journey, memory palace, or the memory palace technique. An example is, you want to remember a list of items. Choose a familiar location such as your home and mentally walk through it to create a mental map of the location. Visualize the items you want to remember and assign each item to a specific location in your mental map. For example, if you want to remember a grocery list, you might visualize a packet of milk near the kitchen sink, a loaf of bread on the table, and a bag of apples in the fridge, etc. And then mentally walk through the location and see each item in its designated location. When you need to recall the item, just mentally walk through the location and visualize each item in the designated location and you will be easily recalled. Memory techniques that is useful in studying. Elaborative rehearsal. If we want to remember a piece of information, we should think about it more deeply and link it to another information and memories to make it more meaningful. For example, if we are trying to remember that the hippocampus in the brain is involved with memory processing, then we might envision a hippopotamus with excellent memory. And then we could better remember the word hippocampus. Then make use of the self-reference effect. Write notes in your own words. Relate the material to something you have already learned for another class, or think how you can apply the concept into your life. When you do this, you are building a web of retrieval cues that will help you access the material when you want to remember it. Then rehearse. Review the study material again and again. Then organize the study sessions. Then take practices of exams. Link the new information to other information you already know well. Then keep away from interference or avoid the interference. To reduce the likelihood of interference, study during a quiet time without interruptions or distractions like television or music. Otherwise, in the exam hall, you will remember the music, not the thing that you studied. Then regular exercise. Anything that gets your heart rate elevated is beneficial for memory. Studies have shown this. The exercise promotes neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells in the hippocampus. It is the area of brain known to play a role in memory and learning. Then get enough sleep. While you are sleeping, your brain is still at work. During sleep, the brain organizes and consolidates information to be stored in long-term memory. Then make use of mnemonic devices. As you learned earlier in this video, mnemonic devices help us to remember and recall information quickly. There are different types of mnemonic devices such as acronym. An acronym is a word formed by the first letter of each of the words you want to remember. For example, if you are taking a math test and you are having difficulty remembering the order of the operations, recalling the following sentence, it will help you. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The order of the mathematical operations is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. By remembering the sentence, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, you will be able to easily recall the math operations. Now let's have a quick recap on what we have learned. In enhancing memory, we have learned various strategies like rehearsal, chunking, mnemonics, expressive writing, and saying words aloud, then associating the information, then method of loci and memory techniques that is useful in studying. Hope you like this video. Please share and subscribe. Thank you and keep smiling.